It's time for a What's Up with Nora. Ooh, hey. What's up with that? Ooh, hey. What's up with Nora? Ooh, hey. What's up with that? I said what's up. I said what is up with that? I said what is up with Nora? Ooh, hey.
Let's fucking go. Let's go. I guess.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to What's Up with Nora. I'm your host. It's me. It's me, Mario. It's me, Nora. Thank you guys for being here. I've judged up the intro a little bit because, you know, let's just get it right and tight. Let's just get excited here. Today, I have a very good brand that's going to come on. We are going to talk about some deep Scientology stuff. We're broadcasting live here and over on Lara FM. Let me just, without further ado, let me bring on Miss Lara. Here we go. Round of applause for Lara FM. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hip, hip, hooray to you.
Hip, hip,
Yes.
hooray.
Oh my goodness, Howard, I saw that you were just making some pomegranate jello. Everyone is J-loose. They are J-loose of your pomegranate jello.
That is a good one. That is a good one. J-loose of the J-lo, of the
Hey-o.
Jello.
Jello's good shit. I mean, I know it's melted horse hooves, but you know what? It's still tasty.
I mean, it could be protein and stuff if you were stuck out in the middle of the desert.
I mean, we're basically just eating, you know, horse's fingernails, and it's okay.
I mean, we drink Coca-Colas and eat hot Cheetos.
There you go. Cheers to that.
And drink Golden Road beards, which they will eventually, hopefully, sponsor me.
There you go. I don't think Coca-Cola is ever sponsoring me at all, but I dedicate one day to them. I mean, if I could have a food sponsor me, what food would I want to sponsor me? Like, I'm trying to think of like a staple in my house that I just am like, I can't live with. Oh, you know what? Actually, Tate's cookies. The Tate's cookies, I love their oatmeal raisin. I'll fucking shuck and jive for Tate's cookies. But I love pizza, so I'm like a pizza snob. But I wouldn't want, like, you know, no offense to Domino's. I do get Domino's from now, time again, because it's cheap. But
watch Nora's next advertisement. I do get Domino's now and then, time and again. What am I trying to say? Get Domino's now.
Get Domino's now. Watch it. It's hot and
Nora.
fresh.
Oh, no,
Follow
Nora.
the Domino's tracker as they make your pie. I do like that. Have you ordered from Domino's recently? Like, as soon as you order, there's like this little tracker that comes up, and you can see each phase that your pizza's in.
I do. I like that. I do. Maybe I have ordered Domino's recently. I just didn't realize it was that easy.
You know, I'll be honest. Whenever the teens are having like a huge ass party, I just get a shit ton of Domino's because they always have like coupons that you can use to make it cheaper.
Yeah.
Because like I'm poor and I have to feed a bajillion teens when they're all over here doing shit. So, you know, have some fucking Domino's.
She's not sponsored yet.
I'm not sponsored. Actually, you know what? I do have an ad I need to do because somebody did sponsor me.
Good.
Ridge sent me this brand new wallet that I still haven't made an ad for. It was the very first company. Let's do it right now. Guys, we're going to unbox this Ridge wallet. Okay, you guys can see right here. They sent me, I requested the lavender one because I find purple to be a power color. But check it out. Ridge makes these all metal, super thin wallets, okay? So that when you're walking around, your wallet is super thin, and then you can use this little thumb hole right here, and you just push up, and all of your cards come right out, and then you can like check out your cards. Also, the cool thing,
does it have a spot for cash, or is it just cards?
Right here? You got your cash strap right here. It is strong.
It better be fatter than that.
Girl,
Nora,
you got to walk
when
around.
You're hanging with me.
Look at all that cash you can get in there, honey. You can get a wad in there.
That's
but also,
cool.
this is RFID blocking. Okay, which means
that means in people who don't understand anything about computers or just
all these
ex-cult
guys,
members
some
in
people walk
Scientology.
around with devices, guys, where they try to tap your wallet and they suck out all of the information.
And nowadays you
from
use your card
yeah,
to like tap and all
correct.
that.
And
So if it's in the
this
wallet,
blocks
it's
that.
already blocking it.
Yeah.
So
No,
you pull it out.
if you put your card in here, it's totally blocked. And I tested that once. I used to work at a place that had like the boopy cards. You know, you have to like boop to get in. So people were like, I don't think that wallet works. And I was like, okay, give me your key card. And I put it in here and then boop, boop, nothing. So it blocks everything. You cannot, no one will steal the chip data. And then what's really cool is in the box, right? They send you this amazing tool. Okay. Because there are individual rivets inside, right, to hold this together. So if one of these comes loose because you've been stacking it with a ton of cards, you can simply use their tool that they send you and boom, tighten it up. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. This could also, and it's not to be used on glasses though, guys, because it's a special shape for their particular rivets. It goes right in there, see? Bink. And then you can tighten it or you can loosen it. Because it's not a Phillips head. It's like a special diamond head.
Kind of broke, you tighten it, and then when you're flat,
yeah, you can literally tighten your wallet, guys.
Hey, gotta tighten that wallet. We're on a low budget this month.
Today's broadcast brought to you by Ridge. Ridge. You can use my promo code. I'll put it up later. There you go.
And in Scientology, Ridge is a whole different meaning.
Yeah, don't ridge on me.
Don't ridge on me, but do Ridge and get your Ridgy wallet.
Boom. Boom. Yeah, Laura and I were talking the other day, guys, and reminiscing about all kinds of things. And I actually saw a video. I have to pull it up here. I don't have it queued up. But we were talking about the most pervasive piece of technology in all of Scientology that kind of shapes you from youth, especially, all the way through your Scientological life, right? Which, of course, is the TRs, or training routines, that come up in various different places. There's courses that are specifically dedicated to TRs. The first course that anybody would encounter these is, of course, the communication course. And everybody does them. They are numbered 0 through 9. And then there are some very extra special TRs that are just for SEERG members on very specific posts.
And OTs. Like there's OT, there's OT TRs, like OT TR 01. Like there's, you thought you got through the TRs at the lower part of the bridge, and all of a sudden you're back to doing TRs again, even though you're OT 5.
Right? No, that's
but the thing is,
yeah. Go ahead.
TRs in general, what we're getting to though, TRs in general are literally the hypnosis of Scientology. The beginning of when people get into Scientology, right off the street from your fake, flyering body routers, recruiters, whatever you want to call them, on Hollywood Boulevard and all around every major org or any city, you're going to see Scientology flyers, like they're flyering. But that's the thing they're doing. They're getting in. The first thing they're getting you in to do is going to see a film about communication or bettering yourself through communication or Scientology studies or doing a personality test and figuring out where you can fix certain parts of your life. The number one first course they're putting you on is first how to study the way that they want you to study. And even on that study course, you're learning TRs. When you do the basic study manual, you're learning TRs so that you're noticing, you're catching yourself as like a third person. So you're constant. It's so hypnotic. It's like, so TRs, training drills, are super important to understand and talk about because they're used in every form of manipulation of Scientology. Whether you're OT8 and you've been in the fucking Scientology or in the Sea Org, or you were public, and your mother was a big celeb, whatever it is, what these things are, TRs. You know what they're
100%.
And if any, so it's really funny when people are like, "Hey, get your TRs," and when we're protesting, we do joke around a lot, especially with these hard-headed, long-term Scientos who have just been in forever, and they're just not. They're like getting more and more involved in OSA, and so you can just tell they're not going to go anywhere. And I'm just like, I'm going to start using this against them.
Well, what's funny is that they're the basics of everything, like you just explained, and we enforce them in Scientology. You enforce them on each other. You enforce them on yourself. They are considered extremely important in terms of you being valuable at your job, right? So if you have great TRs, that's like a super high compliment in Scientology for someone to be like, oh my God, their TRs are impeccable. Like people would talk about David Miscavige, like, look at his confront of evil. His TRs are just so just unflinching, just so amazing, right? And it's like this weird way that the better you are at not reacting, even in an appropriate moment, it's rewarded, right? Because part of the TRs, and I think honestly, in my personal opinion, we can talk about this, I think the most damaging TR training routine to do is TR 0 bull bait, which is where one person is the coach. They are, they get to do whatever they want. Literally, there are no rules for that person except for they cannot leave their chair. That's it. And then the other person who is, the bull baitee has to sit comfortably while all of this stuff is being done to them. And what this does to you, especially for me, like as a SEERG member, is it conditions you to normalize abuse. It conditions you to normalize extreme situations of torture, of abuse, of illegal acts being committed on you, and you not reporting or saying anything about it.
Yeah, it's the thing in an auditing session. Eventually, when you do eventually get to the point where you're getting auditing, even from a public, when you come as a public off the street or whatever, by the time you're actually getting auditing is way later. You don't just show up and start getting this auditing. That's part of the process. Is they're purposely hypnotizing you. It's a slow hypnotic process. But the thing with TRs is that they're teaching you at the very structure, at the very entrance when you come in, and then you're constantly, got to keep the TRs in, and you just don't realize, it's starting to just become normal language, that by the time you're in an auditing room, you are no longer as a child, let alone consenting to being in that room. You're just following the tactics, the ways you have to do it in order to be free.
Right.
You have to follow L. Ron Hubbard's standard tech 100% fully all the time. Otherwise, if it didn't work, it's because you did something wrong. So you're entrapping yourself because you feel like, oh my God, if I don't do this right, I'm not going to get through this, and I'm never going to, this is going to, and then what are you getting audited on? And by who? By somebody else who's done sick things or has allowed these sick things that you're supposed to keep your TRs in. And if you can't receive and give communication easily and without reacting to it, then something has failed on your trip all the way up, like on your way up to the bridge.
But see, it goes beyond though auditing, right? So you and I were both in the C organization. We held various jobs, right? So if something happens during your job that's upsetting, okay, let's say you just got fucking reamed out because your stats are down. It's Thursday after 2. You're going to have to do fucking danger for the 85th time. You're just a piece of shit. Okay. Now we're still human beings. All those people, this is the thing you have to remind yourself, that all those people in the cult right now are human beings. We're at the very end of the day and way down deep, they are human beings. Okay. So you start experiencing, of course, what is also a no-no in Scientology, human emotion and reaction, coined HENR, and you start crying. You're crying because your statistics are down. You feel really bad. You let the whole world down. You let your boss down. You let yourself down. And what's the first the phrases that will be said to you in that moment are knock off your HE&R and get your fucking TRs in.
Literally
right?
like that.
So you're not supposed to feel any emotion, even when you fucked up, right? Even when you have like made a mistake, you're not supposed to feel any emotions. Like the longer you do Scientology and the more you go up the bridge, the more of a literal psychopath you become. Because you're not allowed to react. You're not allowed to emote. You're not allowed to feel. You're not like love on all the dynamics, like all this bullshit that they tell you. You're literally like a fucking serial killer at that point. You know what I mean? Like it's wild.
Yeah, and then you're not seeing yourself as a serial killer because
Oh no, of course not.
Because rape is not rape, and it's
Right.
out 2D, and everything has changed. The language has changed
Mhm.
from the
Mhm.
communication courses.
Right.
They
Right.
then use the communication courses to get your ARC and your communication. Then you learn about the ARC triangles. Oh,
Yep.
and then guess what? When your ARC broken, you have a withhold. Now they're pulling your crimes.
Right. Right.
You have to know what TRs are and what training routines are in order to even get sec checked.
So what?
You
So
can't
you and
even
I were going to
begin-
do this demonstration, but I found something better. I want you to watch this with me, and we're going to talk about it. Okay.
And I might vomit if you're pulling up the Lauren Hollander thing. Is that what
No,
you're pulling
fuck
up?
Lauren Hollander. I'm not bringing her up.
No. I'm saying the video of when they were
the video of her doing
training
the drill.
a child
No, I'm not
who
bringing that up.
happens to be who happened to be one of my best friends at the Ant Ranch.
No, I love Lauren Hollander. I'm not bringing her up being used as a propaganda piece to promote the golden age of tech. That's not where we're.
Ew, gross. I
No,
was
no.
just saying, it's in times we do need to show the actual thing that Scientology uses to get people in and saying, oh, look, this little girl's doing this with a teddy bear and this man's treating her not like a child. How impressive is this? This was normalized.
Yeah,
So,
it was normalized that
up.
children were going to be teaching adults these high level, it'd be like, guys, if you walked into your PhD classroom and a 9-year-old walked in with a book laid out for her to just say things, and then you're supposed to accept all those things as truth, even though she has no knowledge of what she's saying at all, would you take that PhD course seriously? Would you be like, this is how I'm getting my doctorate? Like, this is the person who's in charge. She doesn't even know what she's saying.
And it's also, it's almost doesn't even compare to that, because if you did have somebody that was in the school younger that was like 9 or 10, and they're like, oh, they're a genius. It would be like, that's amazing. But Scientology does the same thing, only they're using the child to be like, look at how they think their authority of TRs and their grooming courses is the equivalent of what a PhD is outside. They think if you get up to this, then poof, if you finish the student hat, if you finish the TRs, you should be whipping up the bridge. You should be going up that bridge.
That's right, man.
So
rocket ride.
It's a key point. It's a huge key point.
Yeah.
It's so much of a key point that you actually can't even talk about Scientology without talking about training routines.
Yeah. And that's what we're going to watch right here. So what I want to show you, okay, this is a video. First of all, I have to bring up my disclaimer here. Okay. Give me a second. Gotta, I don't want to get.
I love how Dan's Winter Wonderland is still empty, is one of the videos.
I know.
I love that.
I know.
Shout out to Dan Walks LA.
Always all the shout outs to Dan Walks LA because he's fucking phenomenal.
And shout out to MD Media 18 and DOA and everybody. Love you all. I see a lot of you in the chat right now.
Yeah, thank you guys. All right, disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All rights and credit go directly to its rightful owners. No copyright infringement is intended. All right, here we go. We have 2 of the OGs right here demonstrating TRs. Laura and I are gonna chime in here from time to time.
I'm Stacy Brooks, and this is Jesse Prince.
Oh my
Look at
God.
Stacy and Jesse.
Okay, can we just tell the audience who these two people are really quick, just from my standpoint when I see these?
You tell it from your standpoint. You tell them who Jesse
Okay,
and
my
Stacy are.
standpoint, and then my Clearwater, because all I had was leaving the ranch and then going to Clearwater. That
Right.
was and then sometimes popping in and out of Celebrity Center and AOLA and Gold Base, but just from the ranch. Ranch was my home base. When I got to Clearwater, these were the suppressives. These Jesse Prince, Stacy, Bob Minton, Mark Bunker,
Hannah.
I was literally so afraid to even look at Jesse Prince. I literally thought he was going to fucking kill me with his eyes.
Yes.
And so now when you pull these two up on the screen, I just laugh because my inner child goes, oh my God. And they're demonstrating the TRs.
Right.
Of course. I mean, even the OG TR, highly trained OTs have to show you what the fuck TRs are. Okay.
Yeah. No, they're trying to do this in the most vanilla way possible. So we're going to point out some stuff here. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
And we're both with the Lisa McPherson Trust in Clearwater, Florida.
This is so 1990s, guys. It's just so fucking 90s. Like, hi, I'm Stacy. Like
the Lisa McPherson Trust, or the LMT as we call it, is a Scientology watchdog organization whose purpose is to help people who've been abused by Scientology. Today, Jesse and I are going to demonstrate what Scientology calls the training routines, or TRs.
Wait,
Scientologists are taught that.
Nora, did she just say we are the Scientology Watchdog Committee organization?
I'll rewind it. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know if she's joking, but I think she's
calls
saying,
the training routines.
Right here.
To help people who've been abused by Scientology.
I think
Today,
it was right
Jesse
before
and
that.
I are going to demonstrate.
It was right before that. Yeah. She says
the watchdog organization.
Oh, right there, way back.
The Lisa McPherson Trust, or the LMT as we call it, is a Scientology watchdog organization whose purpose is to help people who've been abused.
So it's not watchdog
like
committee. So they took back
watchdog. Exactly.
I
like that they did
from
that.
the WDC. Like, fuck you guys. Guess what? We're watching you, motherfuckers.
Used by Scientology. Today, Jesse and I are going to demonstrate what Scientology calls the training routines, or TRs. Scientologists are taught that the TRs are designed to help them communicate better with other people. Critics of Scientology.
Okay, now I see you guys giving Stacy some shit in the chat. I want you to understand, Stacy right now is using her Scientology voice. This is like Scientology otter cadence 101. Do 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 boom 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 boom. Like you just are like here, and then as a woman, you're always supposed to sound a little lilty. Nice.
You know what it reminds me of is like when I had to learn that, it was because my mother or somebody that had some small of care, I guess, in my mind, would be like, give me that hand. Thank you. Give me that hand. And I was like, oh, that's care.
That's care. That's professionalism.
She's doing the Scientology, like, and we're showing you TRs. If me and Serge were joking around about this, and we'd be like, we're doing bull bait. Yeah. We have that like monotonous kind of Scientology Xenu voice. We would call it the Xenu voice.
And what's
Everything
funny
is fine.
Yeah. And what's funny is that this is how people taught us how to do it. But like when we started doing TRs, we were just fucking around. We were doing all kinds of like,
give me that hand. And they're like, no, that is not how you do it. Flog. That's out of valence.
Yeah, because we were literally like actually being natural. The TRs say you're supposed to be natural. The auditor is supposed to sound natural and relaxed. So we would talk like ourselves, and they'd be like, no, natural and relaxed.
You sound like you're gonna fall asleep.
Yeah,
you sound like you're bored.
Yeah.
Like you need to have a
snap. That the TRs create a hypnotic state in a person, or a trance-like state in a person that makes them more easy to manipulate or to control.
Definitely trance-like state.
Today, Jesse and I are going to demonstrate these TRs, and you can make your own decision about what they do.
Now, you also have to understand that Jesse Prince is, a very highly trained auditor in Scientology. So he learned these TRs from L. Ron Hubbard. Okay, guys? So he knows what the fuck he's talking about.
The first one we're going to do is called OTTR0.
I love how they have the reference. They have the reference because, guys, when you do TRs, you're supposed to do exactly that. You're supposed to have the reference open right next
So you
to
can
you
literally
to
look at
refer
it.
to it.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's literally like, wait, does it say give me that hand or the hand? And you go, let
Exactly.
me look. It says give me that hand.
Yeah.
Which stands for Operating Thetan 0. And the training stress of this exercise is two people sit facing each other with their eyes closed without twitching or moving or using a system or a body part to be there comfortably.
So without twitching or moving, so do you see how L. Ron Hubbard literally in that one sentence contradicts his own thing, even just right there? You have to sit there comfortably without twitching or moving. That's uncomfortable. To not be able to just sit there and at your own free will, be
And
able
like
to move
relax,
your hand.
but you have to sit across from this person. See how close they are? Their knees are basically touching. That's how close you get.
3 feet apart, and they mean
Your
from head to head.
chests are 3 feet apart.
Yeah,
Okay?
exactly.
All right. Your heads are 3 feet apart. So let's just watch a little bit of their OTTR0 here. Watch how they start it.
And this is what OTTR0 looks like.
Ready? Okay.
Nobody said start. Flunk, Jesse.
Flunk for not starting, Jesse. Start.
Yeah,
okay,
you're
so
supposed
now they're
the
started.
coach is supposed to say start before
Yeah.
they go. But do you
And
see?
all they're doing right now, they're just closing their eyes, sitting there, not moving at all.
In an actual
Yeah. So she doesn't start.
training
here.
routine, this would go on for many hours, sometimes days.
Yes. Just that one. Just that one.
Of sitting there with your eyes closed until you have an explosive enough cognition.
Yeah.
That the OT trained supervisor gives you okay to
Right.
move.
That
You have to
you're
get
comfortable.
okay. Yeah, you have to get okay to move. You have to pass to move on to the next level.
Yeah. And let's see what the
Every
next one is,
People
guys.
talk about sitting here with their eyes closed and starting to feel very lightheaded, starting to hallucinate, and they have to sit there with their eyes closed, as we just demonstrated, until they no longer feel these kinds of things, until they can just sit here comfortably and not hallucinate or feel lightheaded or anything like that.
Yeah, most people do bring on some sort of hallucination. Jason Begay famously said that what sold him on Scientology was his first day doing that drill, sitting in front of somebody with his eyes closed like this, and he went exterior. He went exterior his very first day, his very first thing he did in Scientology. He causatively left his body. You could see the whole course room, and he was like, "This is the shit," right? I'm Jason Begay, Scientology, you know, and that's what, so, but people hallucinate stuff all the time. Okay. So let's get to the next one here.
And as I said, sometimes this takes days for a person to be able to get to that point. Once a person has passed OTTR0, they're ready to move on to the next TR, which is TR0.
TR0 is very similar to OTTR0, with the exception that when we sit across from each other this time, we have our eyes open and we're just facing each other. I'm
going to be the coach here for this TR0. And so what that means is that if Jesse does any kind of unnecessary blinking, or if he looks away for even an instant, or looks down, or does anything other than sitting there facing me comfortably, I'm going to flunk him, and then we'll have to restart the drill. So here we go. This is TR0.
Here we go. TR0, guys.
Start.
Notice how stiff they are.
Okay, flunk.
Flunk, you touched your nose.
You scratched your nose.
Okay.
Start. Flunk, you looked away. Start. Flunk, you're squirming in your chair. Start. Okay, Flunk, you sneezed. Start.
Flunk, you sneezed. Now, guys, just for your edification, I haven't actually watched this video, so I don't know if they go over it. In the 1970s, they used to do a 2 hour now, to pass TR0 on the professional level, you have to do this for 2 hours straight with no reactions. Okay, 2 hours. And so you can start and stop that 2 hours many times before you achieve 2 hours of sitting and doing nothing but staring at the other person. In the 1970s, they did blinkless TR0, and they had to sit for that 2 hours with no blinking for 2 hours.
Wait,
2
you said in the
hours.
1970s?
Yeah.
Like L. Ron Hubbard, 1970s?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, my mom passed a blinkless 2 hour confront.
No, like not blinking for 2 hours?
Yeah, in TR0.
Not even one blink.
Not even one blink. No blinks. It used to be called blinkless TRs. It was, you had to pass it that way for pro TRs. It was on the then pro TRs course. TR0 was blinkless 2 hour confront. And then they took that out in the 80s.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Okay. I was just trying to do blinkless just now without.
Yeah, talk about Xenu
I was like,
eyes.
how? Okay.
Right. But you see how she's flunking him? Like, it doesn't even matter what you do. Just decide, flunk, you side. And like, as a coach, you're meant to be like not caring in that moment too. It's not like, oh, hey, are you okay? Do you need a Kleenex? Oh,
Yeah.
let's get you a Kleenex or something. It's like flunk.
Because they're treating it like it's like you're reacting to your reactive mind. So these things are just things, these are habits that you need to like get control over until you achieve the state of clear. And then you're going to realize you've been mocking up all these.
I see all of the people that say it's impossible to do a blinkless TR0. I'm telling you, Jesse passed a blinkless TR0. All of the auditors that were trained in the 1970s passed a 2-hour blinkless TR0.
There are VHSs out there.
Yeah,
with
you can watch somebody not blink for fucking 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's weird. You're going to start hallucinating watching that. All right. Oh, look at that TR0. See, look how weird it is. Like, you're just staring at another person. Now, to a Scientologist, this is totally normal. This is like literally, look at that confront. Look at that ARC flowing there. Just look at that.
Alrighty then.
Okay, flunk, you talked.
Oh.
Start.
Jesse's like trying so hard to stop this. He's over it. He doesn't want to go back into his Scientology training.
Flunk, you're closing your eyes.
Stacy's in it.
Start.
She's in it to win it here, man. She's a coach on fire.
But she's just showing that even more time goes by and all of a sudden they start closing their eyes.
Okay, that's a pass.
Yeah.
Normally, this goes on for hours at a time, days at a time, until a person can actually sit there just facing another person, never looking away, blinking very little, never talking, never doing anything. I think TR0 is probably the TR that critics of Scientology find most disturbing. It's in this TR that a person really develops a fairly unblinking look at other people that people in the streets of Clearwater, for example, have commented on, the Scientologists that they pass in the street. Basically are using their TRs on the people that they see as they're walking down the street.
Right, exactly. All right.
And that's where you get the Xenu eyes.
Yeah, that's where you get the Xenu eyes, because they don't blink.
Yeah, we're like, well, that's what that is. It's not that they've reached the OT3 level of Xenu. It's just the only way to be like, it's just like they're attached to a certain information, hypnotic, literal, like that's how they view and see and talk.
Yeah, but it also, the whole section of TR0, we have OT-TR0, TR0, and TR0 bull bait, is training you to do one specific thing. It is training you to stay where you are. You are not in control. You belong to this. Okay, the first part, just sitting there comfortably across another person. Anyone could be doing anything. You don't know. You got your fucking eyes closed. Weird shit could be going on. They could have drugged you. You don't know what the fuck's going on. Then you got TR0. I literally hallucinated so many times doing TR0. one of my eyes, my twin almost like ran away from me from ever at Flag. We were staring at each other. We were like an hour into the 2-hour confront. And this eye went like this and came back up front. And like, he literally was like, what the fuck was that? And I didn't, I felt it. I felt my eye do a weird twitch, but I didn't realize it had spasmed, rolled completely back in my head, and then come back like to attention. And like, he was like, you're possessed by a demon. And I was like, no, it's just, I don't know. I just had a weird, I mean, I had like a seizure.
I had a little LTRs.
Right.
And look, I fixed it. I'm back here.
I fixed it. I'm back.
Yeah, no, I had like slow migraines and shit come on, and they were like, oh, you got to work through it. Keep going. That means you're not past.
Right. Yeah. You gotta run it out. You gotta run it out. What turns it on? What, Laura? What turns it on?
Turns it off.
That's right. What turns it on will turn it off. So this one, we're going to see bull bait now. They're going to give you a weak sauce version here, but let's look. Let's look.
Past TR0, they're ready to move on to the next training routine, which is TR0 bull baited.
On TR0 bull bait, the coach attempts to distract the student or break concentration in any way. And if he does that, then the student is given a flunk, and the drill is started again until the person can sit there having fingers pointed very close to his eye, being yelled at.
The body needs a flunk.
Jokes, whatever, until he can just sit there and not react to it.
Now in this drill, Jesse's going to be the coach, and I'll be the student. So Jesse's going to bull bait me until I can sit here comfortably no matter what he does.
Ready?
Yeah.
Start. You have an eye tick. Flunk, you flinched.
You have an eye tick. Like this is the weakest bull bait I've ever seen. But let's carry on.
Start. You have an eye tick.
Now, is he dipping his head into her boobies? And that's making her uncomfortable and laugh? Yes, he is. And that's allowed.
Flunk, you flinched. Start. You have an eye tick.
Also, you have to keep saying the thing over and over to flatten the button. So because she like reacted after he says that, he has to like do the routine over and over. So all of this is like so fucking hypnotic, so unbelievably, just like mind melting. Do you know what I mean? Like, because you do the same thing over and over.
Slow program. It's the slow hypnosis. Like, people go, well, how do people get into this? We're telling you, and guess what? It's super fucking boring to hear it sometimes, but we have to tell you that when you're in this idea of freedom and you think that the whole bridge requires you to know TRs and communication and studying things, how L. Ron Hubbard says, you become literally in a different planet. It becomes your own world. It becomes like your secret, like it's a cult. Like literally you're going out in the world doing things, and then you're doing everything lined up to this thing of like how your new life is going to be. And so like the training drills are super important, and they seem so crazy, but they are things like, oh, wow. At first I thought that was funny and that embarrassed me. And then he did it again and again and again. And yeah, eventually you realize, oh, well, I guess I could just do this and be numb like this to anything. I should be able to confront anything.
Exactly.
Which is like so hypnotic. It takes over the structure of even your goals in life. It takes over how you operate, how your structure, how your thinking is of the future of your children, if you're ever going to have them, etc. Like it just takes the TRs alone, how you communicate, when you're talking to another Scientologist just based on whether they've done the TR course or not.
Where did I do?
You probably exited out on.
I didn't mean to, though.
Well, you're going to be sent to cramming.
I am going to be sent. Oh, there we go.
There you go. I got you. I threatened you with the ethics gradient.
See, and then I fixed it.
But so this is really, it looks really boring, guys, but they are doing literally a really low, literally washed down version of what actually really happens in the course rooms.
Yeah.
And RTC is not going to pass people who are doing little stupid jokes like this. They do like hard shit, like
you know that
you know, whatever.
Yeah, no. They do. You have to. Let's see if he gets intense at all. Let's see.
Okay, flunk. You weren't as bad as you were before. You're getting better at it. Ready? Start. You have an eye tick. Oh, you really think you're smart now, huh? You really? Okay. Flunk for smiling. Start. Oh, you really think you're smart now, huh? You really think you have it together, huh?
Where did it go?
Why your eye jumping around?
I'm just going on all these things. I gotta stop clicking
Flunk for
stuff.
smiling. Okay.
Just
Start.
slide it back.
I did.
Oh, Lord, my head is hurting so bad. Pay attention when I'm speaking. Flunk for smiling. Start.
Flunk for smiling.
Flunk for smiling, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't smile.
You're not allowed to smile. You're not allowed to move.
You can't be happy. You can't be sad. You can't be nothing. Just be a unemotional robot. That's the goal.
Look at you. Looking like some bedpan in a mental institution. Well. Flunk for smiling. Start. You really think you got it together now, don't you? Be careful. Be careful, I could be dangerous. Is that your mother over there? Is that your mother in the corner? What's your mom doing over there? She needs to be home.
Now, I know why everybody thinks this is so boring, because Jesse is being like the kindest bull baiter that I've ever seen. Like, this is not, I mean, go ahead.
The normal bull baiting things would be like, he could be touching her leg and rubbing her hair and being like spitting in her face and shouting extremely, like it's really aggressive. It's torturous military style fucking. This is the light note of like teaching her like, oh good, yeah, you're starting to work up. But no, it gets really extreme. It gets to a point where any person at any age should be able to hear, and then you'll see the next training drill, and receive or give communication to anyone and from anyone. And it doesn't matter what it is, whether they're a crazy person, but whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Or if they're a rapist, literally. Like,
yeah, Hella Board says Moose recently caught someone nodding over and over and bowing their head. It was strange.
Yes.
Can you put a link? Do we know where this link is?
Yeah, where is that? Because he's either staring at a wall, literally. Some of the TR drills, you stare at a wall, or you stare at an upside down policy letter. And you have to stare at it up and down until you know it, what he says, until you know the policy letter verbatim, upside down, inside out.
Was this like recently? Does anybody know which one it's on? Let me see here.
A few minutes away, just walking. I'm checking. Yeah, my friend was like, just reading things, and they were like, oh, heck no. Oh, my God.
Was he in Portland?
That TV is off.
Is he literally in Portland right now?
They want their TVs on.
I should go down and see him. Yeah, that's the Portland org.
Yeah.
Blind Tech. Blind tech.
He's in the chat, Nora.
I'll do what.
Oh, you're in the chat?
You know what?
Where are you?
It's from the video in
The
Orlando.
flies.
3 days
From
ago.
Orlando from
The
3 days ago.
fleas,
Okay, let me get it.
ugh.
Yeah.
Good job on getting blind tech, though.
So
were a
what
little
I'm gonna
slow.
do?
Okay, so Orlando from 3 days ago. Let's look. Do you have a timestamp for me, Moose on the Loose?
Yeah, they're really clearing the planet there. They're so busy.
Look at all these people. It's just bustling. It's fucking.
So they got to hold
bustling.
the doors closed. There's so many people coming in.
Right? I know. It's the parking lot's overloaded. It's just.
Oh, is this the guy nodding off?
Is it just a guy sleeping? What's going on in that window?
That was a couple of months ago in Portland.
Interesting, right?
Yeah, he's nodding.
He keep.
I think it's there, yeah.
Let's continue
That nodding?
the little tour of the building.
And he's just nodding over and over. I mean, he could have been doing like an,
so look,
you know,
this whole look at this parking lot.
What do you call it? An objective. You know,
Damn.
the whole give me that hand. Thank you. Give me that hand, because you use your head in that one.
Yeah, you're not allowed to. You're just using the command is with the hand. Give me that hand, and they
give me that
reach for it.
hand.
They have to wait
Give
for
me that
them to
hand.
give you. And if you don't give them the hand, they make you give them the hand.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Sit in that chair. Thank you. Stand up. Thank you.
Yeah. No.
You look
They're
at
definitely
that
not
wall.
falling asleep. You'd be in big trouble. If you're auditing somebody, if you're doing a process and the person starts like,
yeah, flunk.
That's called, well, no. I'm talking about like,
in auditing, if you're in the session.
Yeah, that's called going anitin. That means, guys, that as the auditor, that's like red alert. You have to find out what mass has just moved in on the pre-clear is causing them to just feel so heavy they're gonna go sleepy time. It doesn't matter that you've been in that session for 4 hours and they're tired, it's past their bedtime. No, it's a mass. Get that mass off that PC. And if you're listening to L. Ron Hubbard, okay, drone on and 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 on for, 35 hours, and you start falling asleep because his baritone is like, and then the Satan moves through the wall, and you're like, nope.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Or the lectures, right? The tape decks.
Oh my God.
You pull out like 3 dictionaries and start covering your face so you can just fall asleep. So you can hide. It's just so insane. It's so insane.
It's totally nuts. It's absolutely
so in an auditing
nuts.
session, you have to, in TRs, you're learning literally how to tell yourself how to behave in a controlled auditing session. You're telling yourself, you're literally getting your own ethics in so the auditor doesn't have to do it for you, because you should already know better. Get your TRs in. So they're basically psychologically telling you you're not being the person you're supposed to be, which is who you're being, right? And then they're pulling it aside saying, you like, look at yourself through the eyes that we've taught you, because this other person you're seeing is not you. You're having other fish. You're aberrated. That's aberrated.
Yep.
This is the lens you should be seeing yourself as. Because if you're not seeing it through this lens, then the lens you're seeing it through is wrong. I don't know how to describe that any other way other than this is the lens that all the science. That's what everybody sees when they talk to a Scientologist. They just have this way of being and speaking, and it's just no. Everything's happy and denial.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically like you exist only in this alternative universe where, first of all, you're surrounded always by Scientologists, and all of you are watching and reporting on each other 24/7 and making sure that you are all conforming to this beingness, this way that we're supposed to look and act and speak all the time. It's like shit, what's the name of that movie with
You said shit, and I was like, even when you're going to the bathroom, you're like, oh, gotta make sure my pants don't. Oh, gotta make sure.
Yeah,
they
basically,
don't.
right?
It's just like, yeah, you're like, oh, I don't want to have an LPR wet stain on my shirt when I'm going out. It's just like,
Right.
oh, gotta button up that boob. It looks like somebody could be peeking in. You're
Yeah, oh my God.
constantly like, wouldn't want to key that person in, wouldn't want to
Right.
restimulate, and it always leads back to gotta keep the TRs in.
Always, because if you cause an upset to somebody else, right? If they react to your body, your attitude, it's always your fault, right? Like as a word clearer, we got these new uniforms a while back at CC, and I don't know if they still have them. They might have changed them, but we went from the button down. It was like a khaki-ish button-down dress shirt with these dead lettuce ties. We look like flight attendants on like some really shitty airline, right? And we went from that to Claudio Lugli designing our fucking uniforms. So we had pinstripe jackets, pinstripe pencil skirts or pants, and this white shirt that had this scoop neck like this. It was a large scoop because we were all meant to wear pearls, and it had a 3/4 sleeve, which drove me fucking insane because it would never just stay up. Like I push it up because I was word clearing.
You look proper.
Oh, you look proper, like a proper princess.
Oh yeah, and then your sleeves, because your word clear would always get so dirty,
just
and
fucking filthy, dirty and shit.
Yeah.
Okay, but the problem was too that when you sit and you're word clearing, you're leaning here to have your elbow to adjust the tone arm, and then you're writing. So my scoopy neck, right, is then like,
oh, your boobs are showing. You're flirting.
It's a booby neck. So one time, like when you're word clearing somebody on the meter, you can see their needle reactions, and you're looking for that. And I had this guy who like just literally kept having a dirty needle, and the dirty needle, it's like little jerky motions. It means that you're withholding something, right? Like you've got some overt, something's going on. So I kept going like, what's your attention on? What's going on? And he's like, oh, nothing. Oh, nothing. And so finally after the 5th time I said, what are you looking at? And he just sort of like looked down, and then I looked down, and I was like, oh, it's my boobs. And I just threw my shirt back, and I was like, can we just get on with it? Okay, let's go. Right. And he laughed, and I was like, whatever. And I just kept going. Now, if that had been reported, that moment of like him checking out my tatas and me not like pulling the withhold and like all this other. Now, technically as a word clearer, the person's not in session, so you're never supposed to be pulling withholds. But it was like, I didn't report that to anybody. It was like a funny story. Like I didn't care. It's like, oh, okay. A dude saw my boobs and he was like, boobies, like.
Yeah, you're like, oh god, this is gonna go really bad for him.
Right?
And
no, I just
because you post like, what are you doing, Nora?
Right, I'm 2D flowing this guy now because my tatas are out, and then I'm gonna be in the shit, and then this guy's gonna be in the shit because he was looking at my tatas. Like at that point, it's not even fucking worth it. Okay, I'm looking. Oh, this is the film. This is the film that I'm talking about. That if you have never seen this film, this is basically Scientology in a fucking nutshell. Where is it? Equilibrium, starring Christian Bale. Okay, so this is a future where like everything is regulated. Who you have sex with, what you can say, what you can do. Everybody has to take a pill. Oh, Laura's not on the stage with me. What did I do? Everyone has to take a pill in order to maintain their mood, right?
Wow,
there's certain things that are illegal. Like, see, that's illegal because it's the Mona Lisa. So they burn it. Like you can't have any of these artifacts of the past. Look at how everything is plain. Everybody wears these
When did
plain
this come
clothes. This came out in 1990. What does that say? Or is it 2002?
Whoa, 1990?
No. Where is it? 2002.
Okay.
2002 this film came out. It is fantastic if you've never seen it.
I'm going to watch it
is
tonight.
like dystopian future awesomeness, but also you have to realize that this
Such a
again
great movie.
shows Christian
Oh,
Bale.
Laura Taven saw you and goes, "My rock star, hi."
Oh, look at
That's
you.
cute.
I just think, like, honestly, Christian Bale time and time again shows like dystopian stuff in a way that nobody else as an actor does, but also realize that one of his most famous roles, and if you haven't seen this film, let me pull it up here. I love Equilibrium. I should watch that with my kids. They haven't seen it. But if you go back to one of Christian's biggest films from his early days in 2000, American Psycho, he based the entire character of this guy on Tom Cruise.
Are you serious?
I'm absolutely serious. He watched an interview of Tom Cruise on David Letterman, and this is how he came up with this character. See the smile?
Yeah.
He specifically talks about the smile because he says, I watched Tom Cruise smile and he wasn't really smiling. It's like he was a psycho. And so he imitates Tom Cruise's beingness throughout this entire film.
I did not know that. That's wild. And I see it. There's something very... You know what's so gross, Nora, is I have to say this, is my father and like mom adored John Travolta and Tom and
of course.
And it's just so gross that I'm like, these are the people we were looking up to for our freedom. Literally as children, we only saw our parents if we did see them. Some didn't, or some were being molested by them. So they weren't seeing them. And some were seeing them, even if they were. Anyways, while going down the freaking hole. But it's so gross that even our own parents were idolizing people that literally are being represented like, yeah, there's something psycho about this guy, like unhinged in a way where it's like something like, and I have to say that Scientology, I do feel at a certain point, certain people that join Scientology were looking for help, or looking for something to do, something to be better at. Right. But it's so crazy that in the end, this pull of Scientology and the TRs, and this is how you communicate. And if you're not doing it, then you could mess up your own freedom. So you have to do it and say it and be like us all the time.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
In this.
Yeah. Peter Anderson just said, let me remove this thing so we can all see it here. The U.S. Navy Secretary gave Tom Cruise a medal today for how his films have helped recruitment, specifically the Top Gun films. Guess what Scientology will use that medal and photo op to promote recruitment too? Yeah, I gotta look this up because this is some guys. Here's the deal. I'm an 80s kid.
So
I saw Top Gun. I thought I could fucking go be a fighter pilot of Tom Cruise too. That was before I even realized that Tom Cruise was a Scientologist. Like that wasn't what I registered when I first saw that film. It was just like, this is an awesome film about like the Navy. And like, also I really thought the first time I had sex, it was going to be like that. Take my breath away. And there was going to be like a wind machine and like a whole thing. I think every young lady who grew up in the 70s, 80s, like thought that that's like what was going to happen the first time that we made love.
Shout out to Berlin.
Yeah, right.
I got to see her, meet her, and hang out with her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and watch her sing that. And my friend was playing the bass at the time, who was also in a whole Scientology family. But no, Berlin is definitely not. She just in her own vibe. But it was really cool. She's amazing. And yes, it's like that song is so precious that I have to, I've section that song away from anything that has to do with Scientology. So whether it's
my God, I'm going to show you this picture.
It's real.
Thank you for,
okay, let me see.
It's real, but look at how disgusting.
Gross.
Tom Cruise
the smile,
looks.
the psycho.
No. Look
smile.
at his face.
Okay.
What? Stop the Botox, Tommy. Stop it. What has happened?
I don't
mean,
know.
like,
I don't know. Is that Botox? I don't think that is.
is
That is like, no,
Botox.
that looks like swollen, drunken, alcoholic face
Are
almost.
his kidneys failing? What is
Something
going
that
on?
looks like something else. That looks like something else. That
Something is
doesn't look like
wrong.
Botox. I mean, I'm sure he's doing that. But
I mean, this is some Botox shit here, but that's not his face. I mean, guys, let's just go to Tom Cruise here because now I'm
just
upset.
just type in what is Tom Cruise puffy face results of.
Okay,
I'm sure people have already.
So I just want to see. I don't want that. I just want Tom Cruise.
So this is the award. Wow.
Yeah, this is the award. But look, guys. Okay, here's Tom Cruise. Look, cute.
Ew, not cute.
Okay, here's Top Gun, original Top Gun. Cute. Okay, here's back when he had his braces on. Okay, that's like just post Days of Thunder. Here's original OG Top Gun. Okay, look, and then we have this weird stuff start happening. That is not this is a weird picture of him. That's not what's going on.
No,
what's happening? So you can see here he started doing the Botox.
A little bit.
This is years ago.
It's not, Nora, you're saying Botox. It's more than that. It's more than.
This is Vanilla Sky, Tom. Cute.
It's like a bad chemical reaction of something.
Ow!
It's stress because he's been hearing all the protesters screaming how disgusting he supports this.
Or is he doing this for a role? I mean, this is awful. So Tom Cruise played U.S. Navy aviator in Top Gun movies. Now he's been recognized for his on-screen representation in the military branch. On Tuesday, Cruise was awarded the Navy's top civilian honor, the Distinguished Public Service Award, for his outstanding contributions to the Navy and the Marine Corps through his work in Top Gun, Born on the 4th of July, A Few Good Men, and the Mission Impossible franchise. The ceremony took place in London. Okay, so our U.S. Navy gave him an award in London. What? As Cruise is currently working in the UK. Yeah, he's filming another Mission fucking Impossible. Cruise received a medal from U.S. Secretary of the Navy, Carlos Del Toro, and said he was proud of the extraordinary acknowledgement. What in the actual... Look, they gave him a campaign ribbon.
And also, like, it says because Cruise is working in L.A., I don't know.
In London. No, he's working in London right now.
Sorry, I meant London. I don't know that if somebody's putting that, that's out like that. He's working in LA. That could also be like he's working deals in through drug companies and and working some deals in with the military that have something to do with some communication course. They do this all the time where they do huge programs and they're like, oh, we got Tom Cruise to get people to recruit in the military. When the recruits come in, they start using L. Ron Hubbard's standard Scientology TRs course. And they're like, sure, no problem. That's great. It helps people communicate. Great. And that's how Tom, I guarantee you this.
Oh,
I've watched
well, now an honorary member of the fake Space Navy has now just gotten an actual medal from our real Navy for promoting them in recruitment shit.
Yeah, for his fake movie. Like, it's not that he was really in the military. Tom Cruise, let's remember this, guys, has never been in the military. For his fake acting role, he gets these. Okay, anywho.
I am flabbergasted that anyone is joining the Navy because of Tom fucking Cruise. Now, you guys do know.
It's fake.
Here's the deal. Here's what's not fake is he does fly the planes in the movies.
But in the same thing, that's how they get people to join the Sea Org. They get people into Scientology just because Tom Cruise is in.
Yeah. They'll tell people, oh yeah, you'll be like Tom Cruise, but you're saving the whole planet and the universe. It's better. It's better than any Tom Cruise movie. That is insane. That wasn't on my bingo card for today. Laura, let's flip off of Tom Cruise because I have a bad taste in my mouth now. Okay, let's
back
talk
to the
about
TRs. And go ahead.
Let's flip it all the way back to you. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about your protesting. Let's talk about what's going on. Tell me about it.
So Well, the last protest we just did was at the Shrine Auditorium. I don't know. You know about all that?
Yes. Tell me about
Where
it.
they literally, so last year, a lot of you know that I saw my dad when I was protesting, and there was like 10 people that had come out.
Right.
Angry Gay Pope, SP Spanglish, Streets was out there last year. There was a good chunk of people. My friend Jen, Jacob Harkey, there was a bunch of people, and it was just new live streamers that had been like supporting, the new sort of anti-Scientology protest movement.
And let's refresh everybody of that night when you saw that. I have the clip here. Here we go. Here's Laura in action.
And you can see we're all really close to the Shrine Auditorium.
Right. They're in the back.
I can't. It's so upsetting. It never goes away. Somebody put Bill Anderson. Oh, it's Otto.
That is my father. That is my father.
I was saying that to the police officer, and then somebody's trying to hand me these flowers.
I know, some weird fan came up at like totally the wrong time.
No, they were delivering. It was from somebody in the chat.
Oh, somebody in the chat sent you flowers.
Was bringing me flowers, and it just happened to be at the same time I saw my dad. It was just so crazy.
It's so crazy
because my emotion was so tripped out.
Yeah,
and you could see me. I'm like, oh my God, who can understand this? And I realized nobody's there to understand what I am doing and dealing with at this moment. Yeah. And as the police at this point lied and said there was a permit and the sidewalk was closed, but they were allowing everybody
which it wasn't.
Which it wasn't. Right. So I could have literally been walking next to my dad. Which
and
probably would have been a bit better. Like
that would have been a lot better.
Him say like, what if he was just like, I can't talk to you, I'm going to get in trouble. Then that would have been a lot more. I literally fucking got nothing because of the false knowledge that the police officers told me, saying I can't be on that sidewalk from a false permit. So anyways, yeah, this was really horrible.
Yeah. And Amy said that she called the Shrine and spoke with the office manager and told them they have to stop hosting the cult.
Good. There's a lot of people doing that. And if you're watching now, please do that as well. You simply can call in and say, do not have Scientology hosting their New Year's events anymore at the Shrine. We know they've been doing it for the last 50 years. This is coming from the children of the cult of Scientology.
Yeah. I wanna rewind this just a little bit here.
Okay. Yeah.
So
go back a little bit more, because you can hear me trying to convince the grandpatology OSA dude who's always out there, and the police officer who was kind of being like, I don't really believe you guys. And then my freaking father walks, this whole thing happens. But and then after it, I go back and I'm yelling at grandpatology and the police officer saying, you're okay with that? I remember being so angry. Like,
I'm playing this super. Yeah, I'm playing this super slow because I want to see something. So right here, you see him.
That's my dad.
Yep.
So there's your dad.
There. He's literally pushing the dish cart.
Right.
I think Jacob was even in shock here. Jacob's like, what? That's your dad?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to repeat it again. That is my dad. Like, and then I'm like, Dad.
Yeah.
And you can see him taking long strides now.
Yeah. No, he's trying to push. But I can. Yeah. There's a part where
I yell Phil.
Yeah.
I yell Phil again.
Yeah. Right there, for a second, he looks over as you're looking away. Did you see that?
I don't know. I feel like he was telling the security guard.
See his face? It's turned towards you.
I thought he was talking to the security guard that had been standing there.
Father! That is my
I was telling.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, what are you going to say about that?
And he went back inside.
Yeah, he went to the parking lot and went right in. Yeah, and this guy's trying to give me flowers, and I have no idea.
I'm so happy he's here.
Because I didn't know
Who
if he
is
got
this
in
from?
trouble and they
Right. You didn't
demoted
know
him.
where he was.
Right. I
When
didn't
was
know.
the last when that happened last year?
6 years. 6 years before that.
6 years was the last time you saw him.
Yeah. And that's when I found out I had been declared.
6
6 years
ago.
before that. Yeah. And so I was like, oh, that's why.
And
That's why my
covered,
sister's disconnected from me and everything.
right? And that's covered. That got covered in that. I'm gonna call it a fucked up documentary because you got fucked at the drive-thru on that, the thing that turned into a fucking hit piece on Karen De La Carriere and Jeff. When all of you guys were participating, she was supposed to be talking about Alex, her son. You had been interviewed for days and days by a particular filmmaker.
Months and months.
Yeah. And given them like your whole fucking
and it was
life
supposed
story.
to be, and it was and given them the people that were in it, Shane, Nathan, Sarah. And it was because it was their stories were supposed to be being told. Even like, and I thought, oh, good, the director is doing it in a way where he's not even sharing with me what he's asking Shane and Nathan and all them. I'm just giving him kids that were born and raised or have parents in the Sea Org or Scientology.
Right.
And even Nathan told him so much stuff and none of that's really anyways, it's not that it wasn't covered. It's just so sneakily covered and the unimportant. But you know what?
Well,
I guess
they edited the movie to make Karen.
It was supposed to be about the kids of Scientology
and
right.
look
okay.
nefarious.
Well, I didn't know about that. I still don't.
Well, if you watch the film, it's on the internet. Over the Rainbow. Doug went over it.
No, I've seen it, but I'm saying
they took out all the meat and potatoes about the kids, and they just made it about Karen and Jeff, which the movie wasn't supposed to be about at all. It was supposed to be about you and Alex. They were supposed to be telling Alex's story.
Yeah, and there was a lot more. It was a lot more. It was supposed to be about how the structure of how certain people got into it and how some people still believe in it and how some are out and declared and how there were kids and all this horrible shit. They didn't have a choice. None of that's in there. There's so much of the abuse and everything that's all cut out on purpose, and the whole story and the whole way of how it came out is not the reason I came in to bring all these people in to help make this happen. But anyways, it is what it is. Things are the way they are.
They do show in that documentary, because I recall watching it.
Yes.
They do show the conversation between you and your dad.
Correct. And part of it, there's some of it that not all of it was even in there, but they show part of it. And that happened literally when we were already filming for the documentary, the documentary I thought it was going to be. But anyways,
right.
Whatever the facts is that we were already in the middle of it. And I was like, oh, my dad said he's going to try to call me. And that's just all there is to it. So I had it's just insane that I already knew that the reason he was calling me in his heart, even though he was just saying, oh, I just want to catch up and say hi. I was like, that's not, I even told my friend then, I was like, that's not what this phone call is about. He's going to literally try to get me into the org because he has a bad report on me or something. Yeah. And
this is that part.
Just went, and I was like, I couldn't help but say in my heart, in my mind, I was like, Lara, don't change your view. In my eyes, I was like, don't change your viewpoint. You are right. You're allowed. I kept thinking they are your parents and there's an unhealed thing as a child, and just focus on that. And so I was thinking that would get my dad to be more soft about it. But here on the other hand, if you guys don't know, Nora, because you were in the Sea Org, but if you know it from watching a lot of SPTV and everybody that talks about their stories on, anti-Scientology or growing up in Scientology, you're literally going to find that there is a way and a language and a behavior in certain acts and patterns. And if you guys watch this, you're going to hear that my dad is literally being listened. The phone call is being listened to and controlled by him. And he knows that he's thinking, oh, I have this phone call under control. This is my daughter. We might argue a bit, but I'm going to get to her. I'm going to tell her, look, she needs to come in, That's his viewpoint. He's going to be pushing this. And just know that there is security and other people on the line making sure, and even in the room possibly with him.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way he's having this phone call with me, just me and him.
Oh, just him on his cell. Yeah. Yeah.
No,
take a listen,
he doesn't
guys.
have a cell phone. Yeah. That's why
no, of course not.
funny.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Not off. It's an empty office. Weird number.
Oh, okay. Empty office, weird number.
Yeah. Okay. So, are you ready to receive?
Can I just comment on that? When he said empty office, weird number. That was me being sarcastic when I repeated it. I'm like, oh, empty office, weird number. I literally was thrown back to when I was trying to leave the Sea Org and I was in the security office in the freaking, like, the driveway of the Fort Harrison when you're driving up into the parking lot. It's literally the rooms under that are supposed to be used for storage, and they use them for, like, interrogation rooms. And they're completely cemented with no windows or anything. And I felt like he was in one of those rooms where security was literally like watching him like, oh, this is a private call. Nobody else can hear this.
Oh, totally.
Because it could get personal because it's between me and my dad. This was a really shitty call. Anyways. Yeah.
Okay. So, look, here's the thing. Like, I'm torqued. Okay?
Torqued.
I'm upset right now. I'm going to restrain.
And I'm restraining. I'm restraining too.
Yeah.
I'm literally trying to hear him, and I'm going, okay. And I also know how he's thinking as a Scientologist or Sea Org member, but so I am I'm like, okay. I just want people to know, like, I really was trying hard to not argue with my dad and just sort of be blunt and like keep my TRs in, so to speak, but also just say what I'm saying. Like, how is my dad going to answer, like, Dad, why didn't you give me that choice? How is he going to answer that? And there's certain ways where I was trying to get to these personal, just quick questions, and he would, anyways, I'm not going to, you guys hear it how it is. Okay. I just want you to know, it may not look like it, but I really was trying hard to really listen to him.
Okay. So this is Lara's dad reported her to the church, wrote a care on her for contacting an ex-Scientologist. Was that me?
No.
Oh, okay.
I contacted...
Because I remember you and I were
contacted
in
multiple
at the time this
people.
film was being
I
made.
think I definitely contacted multiple. I was like, I was talking to multiple people. I talked to Serge. I talked to you. I talked to Jenna Miscavige. I talked to her. I just got a message and I was like, oh, are you? And she was like, yeah, like I'm declaring. And I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. Or whatever. Like, I just was like, because I just knew her from when I was in CMO.
There was plenty of us to choose from at that point.
Oh, and also, speaking of which, there were also CMO TRs, by the way. We can get into that as well. That reminded me of when Jenna and I and all that were in. Okay, continue. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt your.
No, you're
Here's
good.
my simple upset, okay?
My simple upset.
The ethics officer and sort out your originations and your viewpoint.
I don't. Wait, can you pause it, Nora? He literally says, "Here's my simple upset." Okay, that's literally, and I'm going, okay, and I breathe deeply because his words after that are, "Here's my upset. You need to go to see the ethics officer." That's not explaining what a fucking upset is. And I'm going, like, because he's not allowed to tell me what it is. That's what's so dumb as a father.
Well, he's mad that you talked to other people and you didn't talk to the ethics officer about
but I told him the reason. Listen, prior to this, Nora, this is what people don't know. Me and my dad met up and he said, hey, I have a list of names. The reason that you weren't allowed, that your mother was not allowed to come down from fucking Gold Base and to be with my dad on his birthday so we could all celebrate is because I was connected to people on Facebook. So he pulled this list out when we had waited all day for my mom to come. I was so upset. He pulled a fucking list out that he got later on when he went into the horseshoe, got from security, and there was a list. He pulled out and said, these are a list of people that you're still connected to on Facebook. And so I was like, okay, then I started messing. One of them was Jenna. There was a bunch of people, and I was like, okay, I'm not deleting any of these people. Like, I was just like, this is so stupid. So then I told my dad later, I said, Dad, I was like, I'm not talking to Jenna. I just messaged her because I was like, she was a kid at the Ant Ranch. I was like, she's not evil. I literally said that. I said that to my dad. I was like, Zoe, maybe that's not Zoe. She was a cadet. Anyways, I said, yeah, I read her thing about, I was like, that's horrible that the Woodcrafts wouldn't just leave. I was like, you know, the Woodcrafts, like, and so I was bringing up personal things. I was just saying, these people aren't evil. I was like, it's just like you, Dad. Like, why did you get sent to the RPF and everybody below you and your senior all got sent to the RPF? I said, when does David Miscavige get sent to the RPF? Mike Rinder. I said, if Mike Rinder's an SP, you know, I said, all Tom DeVock, all these people are blown and gone. Like Mark, like David Miscavige was the senior. I was like, who puts David Miscavige? So there's a whole thing before this phone call where we were really trying to heal it as a mom, as a father and a daughter. Like we were really being like, Dad, these are the things I don't fucking agree with. Like, fine, maybe communication works. Maybe the TR drills work after you hypnotize people for so long, right? So anyways, this was after all that. And now it's a huge fucking issue. And I didn't know it. I could tell by the way he's talking to me.
Right.
That's why I'm like breathing and I'm going, oh my God, this is way more intense because he's not having that nice voice with me anymore.
No.
This was, we cannot believe that you came back from, my dad came back to the organization after hanging out with me on his day off. And part of the day off was mainly to get my ethics in and pretend that he's going to the movies, but he's really getting my ethics in. And so when he went back, he told them, well, you know, she has some ARC breaks and disagreements with some of the adults molesting some of the, or, you know, being out 2D, whatever he fucking did. And they were like, how dare you, you thiety weedy. They literally nailed him. And they were like, they couldn't believe I said all this, that I was speaking to Jenna. And anyways, whatever. So that's the whole thing about this.
No, I know.
You were, so anyways, he's saying you need it. My upset is you need to come into the org and handle it with the ethics officer. I'm going to tell you guys, you're going to see this later, but my dad is the one who wrote the knowledge report.
Yeah, it came up already on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Originations or viewpoints.
Okay.
I don't even want to talk about it.
That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. So you will be contacted and you will be asked to do that.
I understand why there is an upset. I understand. And this is what I said. I spoke to the person because I needed to know. I found out what their disagreement was, and I understand why the organization isn't okay with it and why they violated whatever their agreement was to the organization. And you wrote a report on me saying I contacted a suppressive person.
That's right.
So
it's just so cold. That's right.
So fucking that shit right there. I'm like, I thought it was gonna be. I thought he would say, like, well, I didn't. It wasn't like that. I wasn't saying you were. But he's literally being watched, and I don't know. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's just a fucking cold asshole. I don't know. But
well, he sounds. It sounds to me like he's in a room and he's been told he has to tell you off. Like, no more fucking going to the movies. No,
literally,
none of that.
He's like, you just crossed the fucking line.
Yeah.
But anyways, all that makes me feel is that I tried to have a really close conversation with my father, and that close conversation turned into a Sea Org member.
See, what you just said is pretty vile, okay? Pretty vile.
Vile? Why?
Below the belt.
What's below the belt? What do you mean?
It's condescending.
Just because I said that he can't be a father and a Sea Org member at the same time, basically.
Right. Well, see, and what people in the audience have to understand is, like, my mom was a trained auditor, okay? When I finally told her, like 4 years after I left, I think 4 or 5 years after I left the Sea Org, what happened, that I had tried to unalive myself, her reaction wasn't like, what the fuck? Like, I'm going to go fucking burn the whole building down. That's it. Scientology sucks. We're out of here. Her reaction was, oh, well, let me get your PC folders so that I can CS them and see where the out tech was and fix this. Because the only reason somebody would try and unalive themselves is because there's out tech, because Scientology was done wrong. And I told her in that moment, I said, Mom, you have a very important choice to make right now. I said, you can do that, which I don't want you to do. And at that point, you're now my CS and you're no longer my mother. And if you're going to be my CS, you're not my mom anymore, which means we're not going to have these conversations. We're not going to talk. I'm going to leave and you're not going to see me again because you will have taken on a whole other role that you get to make the choice on what you want to do. And she was like, oh, you're right. Well, maybe I'll get somebody else to CS it. I said, Mom, I don't want anybody to CS my folder. Scientology is bullshit. And it almost killed me. And I want you to think about that. But that conversation between you and your dad is you being in the real world and letting your dad know, like, you're my dad. I'm trying to just talk to you as your dad, as my dad, not as a fucking Sea Org member. I'm not in the Sea Org anymore. I don't belong to that group.
And also, that's
right?
the other thing. It's like, it's also like, I'm like, he took it immediately as I was disrespecting the Sea Org.
Correct.
And at this time, I definitely was not. I was just saying, Dad, it's actually, let me put it in Scientology Sea Org terms, okay? I should have said, Dad, you're being out second dynamic by not allowing me, who's now a member of your family that's not a Scientologist anymore, to give the time to me and I will respect your time as a Sea Org member, but you're not giving me the proper 2D time, and you need to do that. Or whatever it is. It's just like he immediately thinks it doesn't matter. The Sea Org is the most priority, the most important organization, and how dare you say something so vile? Okay, that's all.
All right. I want to say something. My wife just walked in and I have to go in like 5 minutes. So okay. Let's do a part 2 on this, Laura, because I want to keep going over this interview that you did. Before I have to jet though, because I just found that out. Let me get back to the right screen. Here we are. So let's talk about, you guys were at the shrine. How, like, briefly, how did that go? Like, what did you guys see?
So
people?
Here's
Who did
the
you
quick
see this
thing.
time?
Here's the quick thing, Nora. They literally shut down the whole street.
Did they get a permit for that?
They allegedly did, but they were stopping students and people who live there that pay $500 or more a month to have their spots there. Like, and they were just so inconsiderate. It was literally like they turned away a student that lived there, had a broken leg, and
That's
literally
insane.
had to go all the way around because they were like, no, we're not sure. You stopped near the protesters and we're asking them a question. It was just like, so they made him go all the way around. So anyways, literally they closed off the whole street, barricaded, so that you can't even be near the shrine. You couldn't even be near the street. They got I would say over 30 to 40 huge U-Haul truck, big U-Haul trucks, big empty rental vans, all of their gray fucking padlocked, by the way, on one of their bus vans that they use all the time. It's padlocked. That's an emergency exit.
Jesus Christ.
So they use them all to block off the street. Not only that, they put fencing and barricades and then put the green tarp so that we couldn't film through, because then there would be the truck. So you couldn't, so that nobody, and then they had the buses come in through that.
Right. I saw like a section of like the bus coming in. I mean, they are so terrified. Yeah, they're literally so terrified. They have let's flip back to the TRs here for a second. They have no confront, no TRs for people, for for female humans standing outside holding signs saying Scientology is a scam. Oh my God. Like, it's not even like, and this is why I tell people, it's like, you don't have to put Xenu, you don't have to put the clear cog on a sign. Okay. Because that's like, already they're like, your SB. All you have to do is be like, Scientology took away my father. Like, your sign could just be literally, Scientology won't let me see my family.
Yeah.
With your parents' names on it.
Yeah.
And that would be, like anything, they would freak out.
Anything that's real. It's like,
the next time I'm in LA, I'm going to tell you guys my secret plan. You ready for my secret plan? So my secret plan is, I want to go to Celebrity Center, but I want to go really, really early, like 6:30 in the morning. And I'm going to set up a little table, like you've seen that meme where the guy is like, the sky isn't blue, change my mind, you know, when he's just sitting there. It's
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
meme, right? Okay.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
want to set up a little table like that, but I want to have 2 very specific signs up. I'm going to have something about Scientology and then like change my mind. But one sign I want to have, I have to figure out how to make it so you can read it easily, is don't pay to go clear. Just get Alicia Pettit as your auditor and she'll tell you the clear cog for free.
Is she still auditing at the?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
But and the other side of that sign is, why hasn't Alicia Pettit gone to the RPF for high crimes of giving out the clear cog on multiple occasions? The second sign I want is for Dave Pettit specifically. Dave Pettit, how do you feel about your gay son Matt having the biggest orgies in all of LA?
Nora, I think you have more information than I do.
You can't. Well, Matt Pettit is super gay. And
Okay.
according to my other gay friends, gay male friends, he hosts the largest.
I saw
gay
him.
sex
You know that I
parties
saw
on
him
planet Earth.
last year. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
I don't know.
So like, I want to know how Dave Pettit, who's the most closeted individual on planet Earth, feels
would be
about
great.
his
I would-
son having massive amounts of gay sex in groups. It's not group auditing, it's group sex.
He's keeping his TRs in on that. You know?
Yeah.
He knows that he's gonna just audit out the body things eventually.
Davies Nice and Shard says he can do some sign tech. Sign tech waiting for you in LA. We got some super chats. Let me bring those up before I go because people sent us money and that's very generous and kind. Matrix Tech Solutions, thank you for always being here and keeping it wonderful with this super sticker. I appreciate you. Unstoppable SP. I hated the TRs course. It was torture for me. I took that course at Flag and my supervisor was Victorio. I had him.
Wow.
He was Italiano.
Victorio. Yep, I remember.
Victorio.
Victorio was there for a while, even when the kids from the ranch got there.
I had the Italian lady who was even worse. Anyway.
What's her name? I feel like I always remember the crate, like the loud. I remember.
She used to call me Mussolini. I can't remember her name.
Mussolini.
Mussolini. Hey.
Hey, Musa.
AZ Crimson sent a super sticker. Thank you so much for. I cannot talk. Thank you much. It says pair character punching the air with a fist and a bump written on its knuckles. Fist bump. Thank you for that. Guys, I don't have time to go through all the comments and questions. I apologize. We're going to do part 2. Are you available tomorrow, Laura? You want to hit this up again tomorrow, or you're working?
Evening-ish.
Okay. What time? Like 6, 5?
Yeah.
4?
What's better for you?
I don't know, 4-ish, 5.
The earlier or the later?
After 5 is better because then I do dinner for my kids. So.
After 5, that's better for me.
Okay, let's do it. What time? You want to do like 6?
6, yeah.
Okay,
Perfect.
6 o'clock tomorrow on both channels. We're going to be there, guys. We're going to do
we'll
part
start
2.
up from here. We'll finish that combo about the rainbow.
I have the clip.
Yeah.
We're going to finish that.
Cool. We'll finish it, guys, so you don't have to worry about finding wherever it is.
All right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in on both channels. We love you. We'll see you next time. Thank you, as always, to my mods for keeping this stream right and tight. Thank you for all of you viewing to know why we're here, what we're up against, what we keep fighting, and the truth that we're constantly trying to bring out here on this channel. Please go see my other videos. Click that link for my link tree, and I'll see you next time on the Flippity Dippity.